Hi, friends. I want to share a story about how somatics and my somatic practice saved my marriage and my business. So, a couple weeks ago now, I got online on to check my email in the morning and I didn't have access to it. And it turns out that my Google account had been suspended. And I had no idea why, but this was a big deal because this is where I host my domain name. This is where I host my website. This is where I get my email. So everything involved in my business was literally like suspended and I couldn't access it anymore. You can imagine how panic making that would be, right? So in this situation, I don't deal with technology very well. I won't lie. And I tend to run to my techie husband who figures it out for me, but I couldn't in that moment. And so I thought, okay, I'm just going to take a breath, get out of my head and start figuring this out. So literally it took me from like 8:15 in the morning until like 4 p.m. in the afternoon, 4:35. I think I was still working on it at 5 o'clock. It was Friday, of course. And so it was the weekend. We're heading to the weekend. And Google isn't something and someone that I can literally just like call up and be like, hey, help. So I had to figure this out on my own. And I firmly believe that because I have a daily somatic practice and I was able to stay anchored in my body and not let my head run away with those worst case scenarios, I was able to solve this problem and move forward. And it was still stressful. Yeah. Like I wasn't calm the whole time. There was a moment where I was just like crying because I was so frustrated. But I let that happen. I let it out and then I moved on. I kept going and I kept trying. And, you know, in the past in these situations, I think I know I would have stopped. I would have gotten frustrated. I would have quit. I would have told myself it just wasn't ever going to happen. And all those stories that I have, right? I have in my head, and my head would have taken over. And think of what would happen. I would have lost my website. I wouldn't have had access to my email. Like all of that would have gone away and it would have been super detrimental to my business. And my marriage would have been a little bit more stressful because I would be mad at my husband because he wouldn't help me or he wouldn't be able to help me, you know, yada, 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 all those things, right? Like it's not his responsibility. He can only do so much anyway. It's my business. It's my Google. It's my things. And so because I have a daily somatic practice, it turned out differently. And I remember there being moments in this experience when I was dealing with this where I thought, oh, okay, take a breath, come back. This is not happening. What your brain is telling you isn't happening yet, right? And it, you know, even to the point of at one point, I remember clicking in the Google Helps, right? Like the chats, the bots that they have, like need more help, and I'd get an answer, need more help, need more help. I think I did that like 20 times because finally I got to like a person in a chat. And so that's the point of my story, right? Because we hear about somatics and I talk a lot about somatics and not everyone knows what it is, not everyone knows how it feels, but I like this is why I'm so passionate about it is because literally I firmly believe the only reason I was able to get my business back running and not have my marriage have a major blowout was because I have a daily somatic practice and I was able to keep myself calm, to keep myself grounded, to acknowledge my frustrations and my feelings that I was experiencing, but not let them take over and not let my brain take over. I was able to stay in my body, get out of my head, and find a solution. And now, gosh, I know so much more about my own business accounts. I know so much more about the backside workings of this that I never knew before, and I would have never figured out on my own. I would have asked for someone else to do it, blah, 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 blah. I have so much more awareness and control in my own business. And all of that is because I have a daily somatic practice. I firmly believe it 100%. So that's why I wanted to share this with you today, because I am passionate about it. And this is just one of the millions of examples of why I'm so passionate about it. Like this stuff is powerful. This is life-changing. And this is a real-time way that my somatic practice literally saved my business and my marriage. So have a beautiful Friday. Take a deep breath. And if you want to find out more about a somatic practice, just send me a message, hit reply, or leave a comment wherever you're seeing this. And I'll talk to you more about this. I'd love to talk about it. Have a beautiful day. Sat